going to continue talking about greatest common factor, also known as GCF. If I have the two numbers 18 and 38, the first thing you ask yourself is, what goes into those two numbers? And I like to start small. I like to say either 2, 3, or 5, because I can work faster that way with smaller numbers. Some people like to sit and they stare at it, you know, and I just like to get done instead of trying to figure out what's the biggest number that goes into it. They both end with an even number, which tells me automatically that 2 will go into both those numbers. 2 goes into 18 9 times. Now, if you need to write it off to the side, divide it out, that's okay. You can say 2 into 38. 2 goes into 3 one time. Bring down the 8. Nine and 19 is what I'm left with. Well, if I think of the factors of 19, I think of 1 and 19. 2 doesn't go into it. I know 3 doesn't, because if I take 9 plus 1, it gives me 10, and 3 doesn't go into 10. I think that's a prime number, which means only 1 and 19 go into it, 1 in itself. So I look at my numbers I have on the outside, and I just have 2. My GCF of 18 and 38 is that's one way to do this. If you get confused doing it that way, you can also make a chart. One times 18, right? 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Does 4 go into it? Nope. 5? Nope. 6. Yep, 6 goes into it, and we've already done 6, so we just did basically a full circle, and we're done. Let's try another one. 1 and 38. 2 and 19. Does 3 go into it? 8 plus 3 is 11. Does 3 go into 11? Nope. Does 4 go into it? Nope. Closest we can get is 36. 5? Nope. It doesn't end in a 5. So then we go back through and we look at the common factors. Well, 1 is a common factor. And remember, a factor is a number that you multiply times another number to get a product. So a factor is a number that goes into another number. Is that all they share? Well, what's the biggest number then that they share? 2. So if you don't understand the upside down cake thing, make a list. But when we start talking about LCM, you're going to want to know how to do the upside down cake, because it's hard if you don't. Let's look at another problem. Okay, let's try 27 and 45. Okay, we like to start with 2, 3, or 5. 2 doesn't go into it because it ends in a 7 and a 5. 5 doesn't go into both of them because 27 doesn't end in a 5 or a 0. But if we add 2 plus 7, we get 9. Does 3 go into 9? Yes. We add 4 plus 5 and we get 9. Does 3 go into 9? Yes. So we know that 3 goes into both 27 and 45. 3 goes into 27. 9 times. 3 goes into 45. 15 times. Look at those two numbers. Can we continue to divide them evenly?
Yes.
What number goes into both 9 and 15 if I'm talking about 2, 3, or 5? 3 goes into both those. So I'm going to make another tier. That's what you call it. 3 goes into 9. 3 times. 3 goes into 15. 5. Can I divide it any further without just using 1? No, you cannot. So, I draw a circle around my outside. I multiply them. And the GCF of 27 and 45 is? 9. And just a reminder, you can list all the factors again if you want. But I like to do it quickly, okay? I like to get it done. So, okay, let's say you encounter a problem and you're not quite sure what the factors are for a certain number, okay? Because if you look at these 3 numbers, 3 will not go into it, 2 will not go into it, 5 will not go into it. I'm not too sure about this 57 here, but I do know that 38 ends in a even number, so that means 2 goes into that. So just quickly, I'm going to list the factors of 38. One times
38.
2 and
19.
and we know 3 doesn't go into it, does it? Does 4 go into 38? Nope. Goes into 36. It doesn't go into 38. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Yes.
Oh, hey, we're back where we started too. Look at that. We made a full circle, which means we have just listed all the factors of 38. Well, we know that 1 goes into 57. We know that 2 does not go into 57, right? Does 38 go into 57? 38 times 2 would be 76. No, that's too big. So what's my only option possibly? Either 1 or 19. Well, does 19 go into 57? We know that 19 times 2 is 38. Wonder what 19 times 3 would be. $57. Does 19 go into 76? Let's just go ahead and start our little upside down tree here. Because we know that goes in twice. That goes in 3 times. We haven't tried 4 yet, have we? $76. Can those be reduced any further? No. So my GCF of 38, 57, and 76 is 19. You may encounter problems like that. But as I said, break down one of the numbers that you do know and use those factors, because if it's in this list, it has to have one of these factors in order to find a common factor. It has to have one of those. And if it doesn't have those 3 in common, then the only factor it would share is 1. And in some cases, the greatest common factor is 1. Because it's the only number that 2 numbers share. Like if I had 6 and 11, 1 would be the only factor it shares.